What's going on, guys? Hootie here. I know smokes aren't the most exciting topic to talk about, but this is really important. So we're going to talk about it a little bit today. We're going to make it short, quick, sweet. We're going to learn a lot and we're going to end it, okay? It's not going to be too long. So what I want to talk about with smokes realistically comes down to how you're smoking off choke points. A lot of the times, players are putting themselves at a disadvantage when they smoke off choke points instead of giving themselves and their teammates the advantage. So what do I mean by that? Well, I'm here playing Omen, okay? But this goes for every agent that has a smoke. Cypher, Brimstone, Omen, Viper, everybody, okay? Let's take a look right here. Let's walk over to the A-bomb site. And now if I'm going to be smoking off the A-bomb site CT entrance, how should I smoke it off? Well, this is what I see a lot of the time. People smoke it off like this. Do you know what the issue with this is? The issue with this is that as an attacker, if I wanted to come out of here, maybe I'm Phoenix, right? I could flash out left, I could flash out right, I could flash straight ahead. And then I could come out this way and I'm protected from this angle. Let me just put it back down. I can come out this way and I'm protected from this angle and I'm only slightly exposed over here and I can kill this guy in the corner. Or I can come out this way and I'm pretty covered from all these angles and I can clear hell and the rest of the bomb site. Realistically, how you should be smoking these angles, if I was going to put the smoke all the way out here instead of in this doorway, I would have to do it like this. Deep enough that the enemy can't walk out but one side. I can only come out this way. I mean, I can maybe stick to the wall and get a little bit of cover here as I come out. But for the most part, I'm coming out and I'm immediately exposed to anybody that's looking at the smoke. There's no other directions I can come out. Another thing I see people doing a lot of is when they smoke a doorway off, such as this one, they smoke it halfway out. And it's the same type of thing, right? As an attacker, if I want to walk out of the smoke, I can come this way, I can come this way, I can go this way. I have so many options, but this is what a proper smoke in a doorway should look like. You should do your best to make sure it's almost level with the door. This is almost bad as well. You have to be careful, right? Because like you want the attacker to have to come straight out at you. You don't want to give them options. They have one option and it's to come straight out. A really good example of how this could also work out to your benefit if you're going to be pushing something is in garage here. So if I wanted to stop a push coming into garage because the enemies were pushing me, this is how I would smoke it. You give them one option. It's to push out of the smoke. They can't do anything funky. They can't go around anywhere. They have to come straight at me, right? Well, if I wanted to play this smoke, I could push out of this smoke and I could walk out this direction, could walk out this direction. I could go straight. I have many options. So I'm giving myself options while taking away theirs. You can play this so many different ways. You can even use this to walk out and TP somewhere as Omen. So what do you do if you have to play around a bad smoke, right? So say they smoke off garage doors and they smoke it like this. What should you do? Well, you should set yourself up to be exposed to as few angles as possible so that they still have to walk out and peek you. If this smoke is here, I don't want to be holding here because if I'm holding like this and they peek here, then I have to adjust and flick and try to hit a headshot. If I'm holding here like this, then they peek here. Like they could peek anywhere from the smoke. They could just walk out, which is super risky. And I don't want to be standing here because of that. But if I put myself at an angle like this, where they can only peek me from one spot and they can't peek me from anywhere on the smoke bubble, then that's a better situation for me. And I'm more likely to win that gunfight. But that's why it's super important to give yourself the advantage with smokes. And the same goes for Brimstone. You could do the same thing. You don't want to give them options. You want to force them to come straight at you. This also helps because a lot of the times you'll have a smoke like this down and Phoenix will be pushing, right? And he'll flash out of the smoke. Now, if he flashes out of a smoke and the smoke isn't set in such a way that he can only come out one way, you can pre-fire that spot where he has to push through because it's his only option. But if I have a smoke like this and he flashes out of the smoke, he could come here, he could come here, he could go there, he could come out anywhere on this edge of this bubble and catch me off guard. And I'm totally blind probably, so I literally can't pre-fire where I know he's going to be because I don't know if he's going to be there. That's why a smoke like this is so important. And this goes for literally every choke point in the game, right? So if I'm smoking long C here on Haven and I smoke it like this, that's really bad. I'm giving them a lot of options. Same with the garage doorway. As long as I smoke it deep enough and force them to walk out of the garage doorway, I'm setting myself up for success. So a proper way to smoke long C would be like this. You want it to be deep enough that it's level with the entrance so that if they're going to push you, they're almost totally exposed. Like I said, guys, I know this isn't the most exciting topic, but I know a lot of people are messing this up all the time and getting themselves killed, especially when you're playing as Brimstone. So let's switch it up. Let's go to play Brimstone. So let's take a look at how to do it on Brimstone, okay? Because I know a lot of players play Brimstone because he's really easy. He's a really easy smoke agent to play and pick up, whereas Omen's got a little bit more of a learning curve to him. Okay, a lot of players are going to smoke CT doorway on A like this, which again is really bad, right? One of the benefits to Brimstone smoke is that he gives you like this, so does Omen's, but he gives you this like screen effect that makes it really hard to see anybody as you're halfway out of the smoke, but they can still see you, so you're at a disadvantage. But if you set the smoke up halfway out of the door like this, like a lot of Brimstone players do, you give the player the option to push out to the left, get rid of that screen effect, and then peek. And peek you from anywhere on the smoke, right? You can peek out this side, you could go straight. Just give them a bunch of options. So on Brimstone, what you need to do is you look at the circle on your actual screen here, the size of the circle, and I usually line the edge of it up with about the doorway there. It's roughly the correct size of the smoke. It's not perfect, but it's almost exact. So you can usually line it up pretty good. And this is a really good smoke for this doorway because they can only push out one way. They're exposed here. When you're like this, you're exposed. So you can already see and shoot them before they could ever see you. One thing to take into account though, when doing stuff like this, is that Brimstone smokes are actually smaller than Omen smokes. So because of that, you're not going to be able to cover off things quite as well as you will with an Omen smoke. I know this is pretty boring, but I hope you're taking it seriously. Smoking is really important, and making sure you're not setting up your team for failure or yourself for failure is also incredibly important if you want to win as much as possible. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, head on over to my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/BrianHootie. Give me a follow. I go live there 3 nights a week. I'd love to see you there and talk a little bit more about this stuff. If you're trying to figure out how to solo up to Immortal, head on over to my video that you see on the screen right now, and I'll see you over there.